This video is sponsored by PokeTownStore.com, the best place to get yourself some TCGO code cards. They have a huge variety of codes up on their website, reaching from Eternatus, Zacian, League Battle decks, you name it. Use the coupon code ZAPDOSTCG for 5% of your next order. Also, this video is sponsored by cardmarket.com. This is a European platform that I personally use every day, and you can sell cards as well as buy cards from people all across Europe, and it's very easy to use. So definitely check the website out by using the affiliated link in the description below. You're gonna be helping me out a ton. What's up YouTube, it's ZAPDOSTCG here and welcome back to another TCG video on my channel. Today we're gonna be looking at some new cards. There's a lot of new cards that we're gonna be getting in battle styles, and we already got a glimpse of what we're gonna get because of course Japan gets the cards earlier. We're gonna be checking out some new V Pokemon, some new V Maxes, some new Pokemon with wicked abilities, some rapid strike Pokemon, some single strike Pokemon. It's gonna be fantastic. So if you are enjoying content like this, be sure to let me know by destroying that like button because we post Pokemon TCG content every single day. So be sure you are subscribed so you don't ever miss out. So we're gonna be starting this out instantly with none other than Kricketune V. If you're playing the video games as well, this guy has a wicked sound. It has something like that, and this guy is interesting because it has another two prize Pokemon that provides draw support. So it is having the ability like Oranguru from Sun and Moon and Struck. I don't know if you guys remember that one, but anyhow, this is a grass type basic Pokemon, 180 HP, 1 retreat cost, weak to fire. I know it's weak to fire, so pretty much the same like Eldegoss, if we're being honest. But this guy has also an ability, and yeah, once during your turn you may draw cards until you have 3 in the hand. And if this Pokemon is the active spot, if it's in the active slot, you can actually draw cards until you have 4 in your hand. And drawing cards until you have 4 in your hand is very good. We've seen that Oranguru was also used in a lot of decks, and this is very interesting. It could be pairing really well with something like Beedrill and Rose Tower to just have an engine on its own, or just to have that extra draw. Maybe you're playing all of your cards out instantly. Maybe you're playing Kricketune V, then a Crowbat V, then a Dedenne GX, then a supporter. There are a lot of draw possibilities in the Pokemon TCG right now. Also, it is stated here you cannot use this ability if you, twice on a turn. So you can only use it if you use the stage elation. That's what it's called here. During your turn, you cannot use this ability again. So it is limited to 1 per turn. So Kricketune V, very interesting to see this Pokemon getting some love from Pokemon. I do love the fact that Pokemon is giving love to Pokemon that, literally didn't see any play ever since their release. So Kricketune is gonna see some top tables. That's gonna be fantastic. Definitely a 5 out of 5 for me. Definitely draw support Pokemon is very good. If it's going to compete with Crowbat V or the Dedenne GX as the main draw slot, I don't know, but definitely a lot of decks will try this out for sure. And also if the Dedenne GX rotates, we have something to grab too if you want to have multiple draws in 1 turn. Next up is Cheryl. This has an interesting ability. It is actually like Deluge for grass type Pokemon. Or actually, maybe a little bit similar. It is going to be like Frostmoth. Actually, to one of, yeah, it's actually more like Deluge. You can actually attach to the active as well. So Spring Bloom as an ability, once during your turn, actually not once, as often as you like during your turn, you may attach a grass energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. It doesn't have to be a grass type Pokemon, it can be any Pokemon, except for Pokemon with a rule box. So you cannot attach to V Pokemon, not to GX Pokemon. It's gonna have to be a 1 prize Pokemon only. So also you cannot attach to a rule box Pokemon Prism Star Pokemon. That's unfortunate, but Shaman, Prism Star could actually be benefiting from this if you have playing a deck with lots of grass energies. Attach them to other Pokemon, then the Shaman Prism Star could actually dish out a huge amount of damage for sure. If there's going to be Carless types or other Pokemon trying this out that require Carless energy as a 1 prize Pokemon, who knows? This is a stage 1 which is able to accelerate tons of energies. It's unfortunate that you cannot attach to V and GX Pokemon because those see most play in the TCG right now. Moving forward, Victini V is back. Victini actually already has a V Pokemon, and this guy is around, and this time around it actually is slapping 10 damage. Plus, if the Pokemon is a Pokemon V, if the active of the opponent is a V Pokemon, you slap 50 more damage, so its first attack could hit 60 damage for 1 energy. Is that going to change or break some games? I don't know, but things that are weak to grass, that actually might help you out a ton to just go for 2 shots or something. I don't know, like imagine you slap a V bullet onto a Zacian. The following turn you can actually knock it out for just 1 energy, which is interesting. So 2-shotting stuff. And then the second attack, Flare Shot, 120 damage, and you discard all energies from this Pokemon. So Welder 120, that's how it is. Not the craziest things that we've seen, because I do think the other Victini V is still more powerful. Next up is Victini VMAX having Spreading Flames. That's the exact same attack that the Victini V had from Sword and Shield, so that's very interesting. You can attach up to 3 fire energies from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. We've seen this attack before, but the second attack, Victory Max, 100 damage, and if the opponent's active Pokemon is a V Pokemon, you actually slap 120 more damage. So that means 220 damage for just a single Welder. That is very good, because things that are weak to fire die instantly. Think about Look Metal. Actually, that's not a V Pokemon. Scratch that entirely. Think about like Zacian already is weak to fire, so you already one-hit KO'd anyhow. With of course the attack of the regular V, but the VMAX will help you out against big grass VMAX Pokemon or big VMAX metal type Pokemon. For instance, I think Aegislash, you one-hit KO that because it's a V Pokemon and you dish out more damage for a single Welder. Will it see a lot of play? It all depends on the meta. There's still a lot of good VMAX fire types out there. Think about Centiskorch VMAX, for example. So don't know if Victini VMAX is if we actually need that. Next up is Tapu Koko V. Again, this also saw a V Pokemon in the Sword and Shield expansion. This time around it does have 10 more HP, but their free retreat is gone, which is already bad. It slaps 40 damage for 1 lightning energy, mediocre to say the least. At least you can knock out some weak HP Pokemon that, with Galarian Zigzagoon pings in combination. Who knows? We also have the second attack here, Spiral Thunder, 20 damage. This attack does 40 more damage for each of the opponent's energies attached to all of their Pokemon. So against something like Centiskorch, let's say Centiskorch wants to knock out your Pikarom and they have like 5 energies attached. Out of no, I think 5, yeah, 5 is the number, then you actually will slap a lot of damage. You actually slap 220. Is that enough? I don't know. I think it's still better to just paralyze Pokemon with something like Raichu and Alolan and Raichu Tag Team Jack. So I don't know if this Tapu Koko V is any good. Although against decks that have, of course, something like, let's imagine that Rayquaza GX is back in the format or whatever, and it's a deck that relies on tons of energies in play, then Tapu Koko V could be seen play. But for now, I'm not sure. Next is Tapu Koko VMAX. So they are giving VMAXs to a lot of previously existing V Pokemon, which is nice. This Tapu Koko VMAX has 320 HP. Yeah, it's the average for VMAX Pokemon. And it only has 1 attack. It is weak to fighting, sharing a similar weakness to Pikarom, Eternatus, the Dynamax, Crowbat. Definitely not a great thing to start off with, but this VMAX has an interesting attack with Auto Paralysis. We have Max Shock, 180 damage, and if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, meaning if the opponent knocked out a weak Jirachi Amazing Rare, for instance, maybe, I don't know which engine you're gonna be running, but if the opponent already has more prize cards taken than yourself, you can actually automatically paralyze the opponent's active. So you use the attack, the opponent is paralyzed. Pretty similar to Tandem Shock, but on the other hand, Tandem Shock requires you to switch from the bench to the active with Raichu and Alolan and Raichu Tag Team Jax. This is a little bit different because you can just use it and the opponent is paralyzed. Imagine this using with a well-paired Reset Stamp, you're gonna be good, or a Marnie. But on the other hand, how many decks are now running 4 copies of Switch? Also, there's an Escape Rope reprint coming our way, so I don't think Tapu Koko VMAX will see the success that it probably deserves. Unless you play it with some sort of an Amistar or item locking mechanic where the opponent is not able to use Switch cards, then I could see Tapu Koko VMAX working out. So maybe pair it out with Amistar from Team Up. Could be a nice way, an approach for Tapu Koko VMAX with the Green's Exploration Engine. But then again, you will need to get 3 energies on here, and that's already pretty hard as it is. We do have Tapu Koko Prism Star, so that could help out. So Speed Lightning Energy, Tapu Koko Prism Star, Energy Switch, and you can get it going. So creative people will definitely make this work, but you definitely need item lock because everybody's playing 4 copies of Switch. Next up is Mimikyu. Yeah, this is the knockoff Pikachu, and it's very, very menacing. A very crazy and amazing artwork for sure. Mimikyu V, only 160 HP on the lower end on V Pokemon, just like Mew V. And this has the most broken ability, or actually funny, nice gameplay mechanics going around with its ability that I've ever seen. It's very similar to the video games, by the way. Dummy Doll is the ability. You may use this ability once during your turn when you play this card from your hand onto your bench. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. I don't know how to feel about this because this is only working on the bench, I think. Unless the translation gets that out a little bit different. If you like switch to the active, I think the effect gets removed. That means people will just boss it up and knock it out. It cannot get like Snipe Shot, that is interesting. It cannot get Venom Shot, it cannot get Tag Bolt GX for KO. That is good, but on the other hand, it has to work on the active for it to be good. If that is the case, then I might see some potential for Mimikyu. If that is not the case, people will boss it, the ability effect will reset, and then it gets knocked out anyhow. But if it's not, if you just slap it down, move it to the active, and are able to survive a turn, I do see it working with something like Lily's Pokédoll. I wonder how the official English ruling will be for this. Also, it has an attack here. The Envying Eyes put 3 damage counters to your opponent's active Pokemon for every prize card they have taken. So if they've taken 4 prize cards, you actually slap 12 damage counters on the active, which is actually not bad. Definitely considering the fact you survive a turn, but that will make sure if the ability effect gets like removed if you go to the active slot. Otherwise, it's maybe working out where you can use something like, I don't know. I really don't know. Otherwise, it has to like work on the active for it to be good. Otherwise, it's a terrible card. We'll see. Although in the late game, for just 1 energy, you could actually slap a huge amount of damage for 1 energy, which could be interesting. Tagging it into an Aurora Energy base list or a Psychic deck. Next, some Fighting type 1 prize monsters. We have Primate. It is back. Primate. It is actually the best Primate I could imagine is like the one from Team Rocket. I think I have one of those laying around somewhere in my house, but... The Primate is a very nice Pokemon, definitely has a lot of appearance in the anime, but this has an attack, Field Crush, 20 damage, discard any stadium in play. Very nice to get rid of stuff like Wanderer's Labyrinth or any annoying stadium, or something like Chaotic Spell, for example. But the second attack is where it's at. This is Frenzy Bomb. Actually, the Frenzy is something that was on the Team Rocket card as well. 50 damage, and this attack does it's a multiplier, so 50 damage for every bench Pokemon with any damage counters on them. So, in a perfect world, you start with Mankey, attach of turn, the opponent does something, you evolve to Primate, attach of turn, gets yourself 4 Spiritomb on the bench, and boom! Out of nowhere, you get yourself 200 damage output for a Fighting type. That's crazy. You can knock out a turn as VMAX in 1 shot with that, knock out Pikaroms. This could be good. Also, we have a Houndoom in Battle Styles, and that Houndoom, ladies and gentlemen, is a very good card to accelerate the single strike energy, which allows you to dish out even more damage while putting a damage counter onto the Houndoom, or actually on the Pokemon you attach it to. I think that is correct, right? So it could be becoming an archetype here, 1 prize Primate deck. Interesting for sure. Next is Phalanx. This is the camp of the Rapid Strike Pokemon formation. 20 damage, and this attack does 20 damage for every one of your Rapid Strike Pokemon in play. The good news is that Rapid Strike energy provides 2 energies simultaneously, so you can attack for 1 energy. Pretty similar to the Phalanx we already got used to with Team Play, I think it was the attack call, the attack name. Wonder if it's gonna see play. It's maybe if you're playing the Rapid Strike energy and you want to have, and you're playing a Rapid Strike deck, you could be just playing 1 Phalanx in there just for the weakness, because out of nowhere, each of your Rapid Strike Pokemon play, you can actually slap 120 damage, which is very crucial if you're up against something like Eternus V, and Eternus V is in the active slot, didn't go to the bench, and you can just knock it out. Same goes for if the opponent has a lone that then ejects, you can knock it out. Interesting for sure. And also 120, if you multiply that by 2, you knock out Pikarom. So interesting for sure. Definitely make sure you run some tool scraps to get rid of the Vic Charms though. Next is Bronzong. This is broken metal Pokemon get more and more support as more and more sets get released. We have Bronzong here. This is, do you remember Quagsire from Dragon Majesty? I'm sure you do. Quagnack fellas over there. Let me know in the comment section if you love that deck. Play that at the regionals once. Okay. Metal Trance. As often as you like, you can move metal energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. So that is not only like Quagsire only moved it to the active, you can move it around. So Saucer, get all the energies to the active. That's just a little example. You don't need energy switch and ADP anymore if you have this out. So imagine you get yourself Bronzong out, then you can move all the energies around, which means you can automatically like Saucer and get the energy onto your ADP. Or you can Saucer onto your Zacian and move it around to, or another effect, you manually retreat your Zacian to use 2 Metal Saucers and get all the energies back to the new active. So you can move around metal energies, but this could also work to move around your Aurora energies. So yeah, a little bit interesting for sure, because as Aurora energy is attached, it does provide metal type energy. So I do love this Bronzong. It's good. Definitely a nice contender in a lot of decks. Counter box decks, moving around the energies with Aurora. It's gonna be awesome. Escape Rope is back, a little bit late to the party. This was awesome in Zapdos decks where you can just use Escape Rope. The opponent decides which bench Pokemon they promote first, so they actually get fee owned. And then you decide which Pokemon you want to switch around with. So this is very good. I love playing switch Escape Ropes and then seeing the opponent's face like, what are you gonna promote? And then you have the option to promote your Pokemon yourself. So very nice. Each player switches their active with one of their bench Pokemon. And the perfect thing is that the opponent switches first. And if the player does not have a bench Pokemon, that player does not switch a Pokemon. So you can still get out of the active position with an Escape Rope, even if the opponent doesn't have a basic Pokemon. Actually, doesn't have a bench Pokemon. Interesting. Next is Tool Jammer. New mechanic. It's a tool card. And you can attach it to one of your Pokemon. As long as this Pokemon tool card is attached to somebody in the active spot. Let's see here. As long as the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active slot. So if you have this attached, you can still have it on the bench, but then it doesn't do anything. As long as you, if you just move to the active position, Pokemon tool cards attached to your opponent's active Pokemon have no effect. Okay, so that means if you just have this, promote your active, and the opponent doesn't have a boss or something, they cannot use Air Balloon to get out of the active position. They cannot use Vitality Band to slap more damage. They cannot use Big Charm to have more HP. This is good. This is a really good blocking mechanic. Definitely, like, imagine somebody is playing Pikarom and they're having a Big Charm onto their Pikarom. Well, you just slap this into your deck and play a Phalanx from the Rapid Strike camp, and out of nowhere, the Big Charm gets neglected. So you don't always need to have Tool Scrapper at the correct time. Just equip this and boom, out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, the tool cards do not have effect anymore. Also, things like Karate Belt. Oh, this can block Karate Belt completely. Crazy, crazy. Or actually something like Telescopic Sight, like Cramorant sniping the Crowbats. You can actually prevent that with this. Interesting card for sure. Tool Jammer will see play, definitely. We have Karina's Motivation. We're up to the supporters now, and this is an interesting card. It is the Rapid Strike engine, so you can search that out with Octillery. And yeah, you can draw cards until you have 6 cards in the hand. So pretty much like Lily. Remember Lily from Sun and Moon, drawing cards until you have 6 in the hand. Don't know if it's that busted because Lily saw a lot of play because you could use it on the first turn and then draw cards until you have 8 in hand. But other than that, people still run 4 Lilies, not only for the first turn but for the other turns as well. So drawing cards you have 6 in the hand could be sometimes better than, of course, discarding your entire hand. Maybe better in yeah, evolution based deck so you don't get rid of your resources, but we do have ordinary rod, so it doesn't matter. Next is Phoebe, and this is the first time we're seeing an artwork that actually is illustrated by Game Freak themselves. So very, very cool to see. We have Phoebe, and during this turn, damage from the attacks of your VMAX Pokemon aren't affected by any effects of your opponent's active Pokemon. This is actually like a little Hex Maniac for certain scenarios. So what can you do with this? A little example. Oh no, the opponent is playing a Zamazenta V and my Eternus VMAX deck doesn't have an answer. Well, if you play one Phoebe, you can go through the Zamazenta V and just blow it in smithereens. That's how it goes. I love it. I love it. Also, you can also go to things like the Decidueye, Altarios. If you're having trouble with that, play Phoebe. Maybe even an Eldegoss to have like 2 copies of the Phoebe. Very good card in the correct meta. If you want to go through something like effects, also in a way like if... Like, imagine that Mimikyu V is working out and it cannot get damage even if it's in the active position. You can go through it with Phoebe, as another example. So Phoebe is like that little Hex Maniac kind of style where you can go through abilities, which is nice. Okay, next is Bruno. Although Hex Maniac also shut down abilities on the opponent's next turn, but that is a card that got bad because it was so broken. We have Bruno here. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 4 cards. So it's pretty much like a judge for yourself. And then if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you can draw 7 cards instead. So shuffle your hand into your deck, draw on 7 cards. That's even better than Cynthia of the Ultra Prism set. But this is only working out if one of your Pokemon got knocked out during the opponent's last turn. And then because we're in a meta filled with like VMAX Pokemon, you're probably not gonna get knocked out anyhow. So this a little bit mediocre, don't know how to feel about this, but it is a single strike supporter, so it is working with, of course, the single strike decks. So interesting for sure. I don't know if it's gonna be replacing Sycamore, actually Sycamore Research or Marnie anytime soon, but it's a good card nevertheless. Then we have Cheryl coming out of nowhere. Like, is that going to be Diamond and Pearl remakes confirmed? We have Cheryl here. Heal all damage from each of your evolution Pokemon. Then discard all energy attached to the Pokemon you healed in this way. Okay, healing your entire board. Could be interesting with that Bronzong. You just put energies everywhere and just heal everything. But you need evolution Pokemon. So evolution Pokemon that also counts like VMAX Pokemon. So interesting supporter to healing everything. Is there like maybe Colossal? Colossal, you can just have a Surf Edge, fly in the active position, take some energies, then use this Cheryl to just heal your Colossal VMAX entirely. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here, interesting. Also, we're going to be moving on to some cards that we also haven't discovered yet. And that's going to be Aegislash from Single Strike. So we have, yeah, Aegislash has the ability stance. Actually, ability stance change. Once during your turn, you may switch this Pokemon with an Aegislash in your hand. Any cards attached to that Pokemon, damage counter and special conditions, turns in play, and all the rest still remain on the new active. So pretty much like Deoxys form change and all that in the past, you can actually swap around your Aegislash with this Aegislash. You can go to the offensive form, or you can go to the defensive form. The defensive form has the attack here, 70 damage during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from VMAXs. So out of nowhere, you could swap around your offensive Aegislash to this Aegislash and use the attack, and out of nowhere, you are immune from damage from VMAXs. Still not good. It is a stage 2 Pokemon, and there's a new card in the form of Phoebe coming. So if a deck like this ever becomes viable, VMAX Pokemon can slide in a Phoebe and an Eligos, and they're good to go against you. Or a Phoebe and a Palpat. Then there's the offensive Aegislash, slapping 210. You have to discard 2 Metal Energy from this Pokemon, but you slap 210. It's also having the stance change, so you can go to defensive form or offensive form, but they're very terrible to say the least, because 210 doesn't even knock out a lot of relevant stuff, to be honest. So also you have to discard 2 energies, although you can get the energies back with Battle Saucer. It's a stage 2, and stage 2s are way too slow. Then we have Bolton, Yamper, Galarian, and Mr. Rhyme. Actually, the package of a new archetype. I talked about this in the on my Instagram and Facebook, so definitely check those out. Facebook.com/ZapdosTCG, Instagram Zapdos_TCG, or maybe on Twitter, Twitter.com/ZapdosTCG. Definitely follow me on the platforms that you are most that you are on most of the time, because I talk about new cards every single day that they come out. Galarian, Mr. Rhyme, Ball Juggling, 10 damage. And you may discard any number of item cards from your hand with Ball in their name, and this attack does 40 more damage for every card you discarded. So I do love the fact that you can use it for a twin energy or a triple accelerated energy. So 1 energy and you slap a huge amount of damage. So discarding cards with Ball, we have Quick Ball, Pokeball, Great Ball. I think those are the item-based balls that we have right now. I think, yeah, if I'm being honest, those are it. But the good news is we are getting a Yamper with an ability, and it is able to get repeatedly seeing use because of Scoop Up Net. Fetch the Ball ability. Once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand onto your bench, you may put 1 Pokeball and 1 Great Ball from your discard pile onto your hand. So early on, you just play your entire setup, Pokeball, Great Ball, getting your stuff out, and out of nowhere, your Yamper can actually get the Pokeball and the Great Ball back. So you slap it down, get actually 80 damage back from the discard pile, you slap another down, another 80 damage, you use Scoop Up Net, you can do it again. So very interesting. You need to have a very aggressive approach, so you get everything in the discard pile and then have a lot of Scoop Up Nets and Yampers to just smack huge damage with Galarian, Mr. Rhyme. As a little bonus, you also can make use of course, the weakness to get rid of Centiskorch VMAX, Rashizards, you name it. So love the archetype. And there's also a Bolton here, which has an attack here. Define Spark. If this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, the attack cost for this is just a Lightning Energy. So if we ever see a Rainbow Energy, then Bolton will become good as a stage 1 Lightning counter. So you can actually knock out stuff like, what can we say? A little example, Cramorant V, for instance. So you can actually have Rainbow Energy, you have a damage counter on yourself, bam, 130. So unless that happens, it's not a good card. But the Yamper and Galarian Mr. Rhyme will form and get, of course, their own little archetype. Next is XP Share getting a reprint. I remember the days of Terrakion of Noble Victory, seeing a lot of play thanks to Escape XP Share. Now we are in the format with Tool Scrapper, so I don't know how to feel about XP Share, but XP Share lets you, if you have this onto one of your bench Pokemon, get one of the basic energies from your active Pokemon that gets KO'd, and attach it to that Pokemon with XP Share. So you could be saving energies, so you don't always need energy acceleration. In the past, we also see something like Wishful Baton for something like Blacephalon. Yeah, where the day is very broken indeed. But this is only for 1 energy. So this will be for decks that attack for 2 energies. It's perfect. Or maybe for 3 energies and something else that you have energy acceleration like Tapu Koko Prism Star. Who knows? But this is interesting for sure to see that back. We'll definitely see some play with it. Next is Zubat, Golbat, and Crowbat. Yeah, this is going to be all darkness type Pokemon. Poison types have swapped over to the darkness type, and they are on the dark side. Not only that, this is going to be perfect with something like Scoop Up Net, and of course, Eternatus VMAX. You can just slap your bench full of Zubats. Then, if you evolve into Golbat, they have an ability. Look at the menacing Golbat. Okay, once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand to evolve a Pokemon, draw 2 cards. So imagine first turn you have some Great Balls and all that into your Eternatus. Eternatus attach of the turn onto your Eternatus V, hiding dark energies, retreat to something that you don't want to get blown up on. And then slap down some Zubat. Following turn, Golbat, you draw a lot of cards, you definitely find the boss Zors and bam, find Eternatus VMAX, knock out everything in your path. Maybe you can even dish in some dangerous drills to get rid of like tool card special energies, because you do run a heavy amount of Pokemon that way. And also if you evolve into Crowbat, you can draw 3 cards. So finding one-off copies like a reset stamp and all that could be good. So maybe a straight Eternatus Crowbat line with a lot of disruption cards. I could see it working around. Maybe hammers, reset stamp, and you draw everything out, and you can be playing boss as well every single turn, because you don't always need to research, because you can draw cards with the Golbat and the Crowbat. Very interesting, right? I know, they look awesome, and just I actually wish they actually got released on Halloween, because they look so menacing. And then, yeah, I think that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video of a run through of all the new cards we're gonna be getting in battle styles. I'm gonna be opening up a lot of boosters on the channel, so definitely subscribe so you don't miss that adventure. Also, hopefully some pre-release kits if I get my hands on them. There's still pandemic stuff going around, so I have to be careful to just promise you guys pre-release kits. If I get them, it's gonna be awesome. Also, check out my sponsors. We have, of course, the one, the only PoTownStore.com that actually is, of course, sponsoring every single video, and you can get yourself TCGO code cards from everything that you might wish for. So what is that? That's going to be Eternatus codes, there's Zacian codes, there's everything you might need, League Battle decks, you name it. There's so much going around on Potown Store, and you can use the coupon code ZapDoseTCG for 5% off your next order. Also, we are gonna be putting in a card market coupon code on the screen right now for 10 euros for new users. So if you haven't bought on Card Market just yet, this is for you. And Card Market is a European platform where you can buy and sell cards from people all across Europe. So very interesting indeed. It is on the screen right now. I don't know if you can read it. Maybe we should move it around a little bit. Yeah. It's a little bit on the, yeah, this is probably better, right? You can see it. The 10 euro coupon code is on the screen right now. If you are that lucky person that was able to claim the 10 euros, be sure to let me know what you're gonna buy on Card Market. I'm always curious to see what you guys are interested in. Also, yeah, that's it. Be sure to subscribe so you don't ever miss a daily Pokemon TCG video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!